The Yankees ended a 4-game slide on Tuesday night with a 4-2 win over the Guardians, but the team still sits in last place in the AL East. So let's talk some Yankees baseball with New York Post sports reporter Dan Martin. Dan, how have things been for you?
Pretty good, Dex. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing better than the Yankees have been sliding lately, but hopefully trying to get things back on track after this win. So let's get right into it, Dan. Prior to Tuesday's win, the Yanks had lost 7 of 9. They only scored 10 runs in those 7 defeats. 4 runs scored last night. It's not really going to excite the Yankee fan, but do you see any signs of this team busting out offensively?
I think busting out is too strong a word. You know, they were shut out until the 6th inning last night. It looked like there's going to be another rough game for them. You know, Cole was on the mound. They were down 2-0. Offense looked dead once again. And then Anthony Volpe hit a home run to the opposite field or into the right field seats, and that really sparked things. You know, he's provided quite a spark since he's been up this year, which they've needed. Obviously, they're going to need a lot more than that. So I'm not sure I'm ready to say they're ready to bust out, especially with Aaron Judge still out for a few more days at best, and who knows how long it will turn out to be. But yeah, they'll take what they got last night. They had scored just a handful of runs, like you said, in that 4-game losing streak. They've just got so many untested guys in the bottom half of that lineup that the veteran guys like Rizzo and LeMahieu at the top really can't carry the entire offense.
They definitely can't do that, and we know they need help with all the injuries. We'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about this. Fans of the Bronx Bombers, they've been frustrated with the team's start to 2023. I've heard this from a lot of Yankees fans that the frustration is real. Is manager Aaron Boone or general manager Brian Cashman on the hot seat in your eyes here?
Not at all. I mean, certainly not Brian Cashman. He just signed a new contract. You know, at this point, he's going to be there as long as he wants to be there in that role. You know, Aaron Boone, you know, he's on the last year of his contract, but they love him there. You know, they look mostly at the start of this season as, first of all, it's very early. It's still only a month into the year. And like we've talked about, the injuries have really played a role, not just to the lineup, but to the rotation. You know, they're outside of Aaron Judge, their biggest signing last offseason was Carlos Rodon. And, you know, he still hasn't pitched yet. So they're confident that he'll be back at some point. That's been a whole other issue with his back, a delay in ramping him up. So that's got to be concern for them. But they remain confident that he will be back. He'll be Carlos Rodon, and that'll, you know, give Garrett Cole some help at the top of the rotation with Luis Severino. So I just think that there's so many guys that are out right now. This is not the roster that they expect to have either in the second half of the season or maybe even before. So I think that despite what the Rays are doing at the top of the division, the Yankees still think they can get back into this thing and be in good shape towards the end of the year. All
right, Yankee fans, don't just jump out the window yet and want to make all these changes, front office and manager. A little bit of time with the injuries. Speaking of injuries, Harrison Bader, he made his return to the lineup just as Aaron Judge hit the injured list. Can Bader help this Yankees offense in a time where they're without both Judge and Giancarlo Stanton?
They hope so. You know, Bader's more known for his glove than his bat. He showed off how good he can be at the plate in the postseason last year, but that was more of an anomaly than something the Yankees can rely on. But look, he's better than a lot of what they've been trotting out in the outfield lately. You know, Aaron Hicks, his woes have been well chronicled. You know, they've been going through this collection of minor league contract guys like Willie Calhoun, who homered last night. You know, young guy like Cabrera has struggled. So I think Bader can be a stabilizing force both in center and a little bit in the middle of the lineup until Judge gets back. You know, the bigger question is, when does Judge get back? He said last night that he didn't want to go on the IL. He lost the battle with Yankees management to do so, but he still sounded pretty optimistic, as did Aaron Boone, that he would be back as soon as he's eligible to come back when they get back home from Tampa. So look, if they have Aaron Judge back next week and he's healthy, and then they have Bader back, like Aaron Boone said last night, hopefully Bader's return is the start of guys coming back and not just losing guys to the IL, which is all they've been doing so far this year. You would think at some point the Yankees' luck would turn and they'd have, you know, the roster that they expected to have coming out of spring training.
All about health, Dan. We'll see if the Yankees get healthy in the coming weeks. That is Dan Martin, New York Post sports reporter. Does a great job covering baseball for the Post. Dan, thank you for your time. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, Dex. Thanks.